slide, you know we gon' see the kill. What? That boy deceased for real. Better be cool, you not on that block, you not in the streets for real. Lil' Brody gon' slide, he load up the 9, you know.
What is indeed going on, people? This is Jonah Pittman, and welcome back to the Main Event Podcast. My co-host Kofi O'Hemming is having some technical problems right now, but he is on vacation in Florida with his family, so he won't be able to tune in, but he will be in the comment section talking about the Chicago Bears and this bye week that is coming up. And then we also will briefly discuss the Chicago Bears taking on the Baltimore Ravens. So that's a lot of things that will be coming up as well. But as of right now, the Bears is on his bye week after losing 4 consecutive games. At one point, the Bears was 3-2, and we did think they was legitimate contenders. But it seems like, man, that is not the case. And now the second half of the season will be starting after this week. So the Bears, of course, taking on the Baltimore Ravens, and it's going to be a very tough test for the Bears, who had dominated the AFC North. Like I've said, and even in the previous broadcast, that yes, they dominated the AFC North for the most part of the last 15 years. They do have a few losses here and there, probably one loss to Cincinnati Bengals, one loss to Baltimore here and there. But for the most part, the Bears have basically dominated the AFC North. But goddamn, I don't know how things are going to turn out for them after this bad week. They do have a few players. What's going on, CEO? You can talk all that mess, but your team, the Baltimore Ravens, the opponents that the Bears are taking on, did get waxed 22-6 by Miami Dolphins. So you can talk all you want, but y'all got whooped by one of the worst teams ever. So chuck on that. But anyways, man, goddamn, this bye week, I'm expecting a few players to come back. There is rumors that possibly Khalil Mack might be coming back. What's going on, Taj? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? It is supposed to be rumors that him coming back. Of course, we did get back David Montgomery during in a previous game. There is a small chance also the Bears will be getting back Tariq Cohen, so they probably be trying to get him slowly in the rotation and probably have Damian Williams phase out of the game plan, because over the past few weeks, especially when Khalil Herbert was basically teeing off on defenses and able to run all the way up the field constantly, then the Bears just decided to use Damian Williams less and less. Now, of course, I thought they would be using him a little bit more in the passing game because he is a decent receiver out of the backfield. Either use him in the slot or some type of other variation. They didn't. So it is what it is. When Tariq Cohen comes back, probably he finds a way to fit into that rotation with Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery. And then, yeah, that'll be probably your lineup going throughout the rest of the season, because Grant already has taken over kickoff and punt return duties, even though he did fumble in the last game. One of the costly turnovers that just killed the Bears. In last week's game again against the Pittsburgh Steelers, along the course, all those penalties, but some of those still was self-inflicted, and then of course a few of those was garbage as hell. But you still in a balance of still had opportunity to win, still had opportunity to stop the Steelers. Those offside penalties, those encroachment penalties, whichever way you want to say it, still killed the Bears, especially when you have a veteran leader like Robert Quinn, who's been in the league almost 10 years and still wasn't able to do it. And here is KO Sports Talk. Of course, like I told you people, he will at least be able to comment as well, but he just having some technical issues, so he is not able to actually be a part of the podcast. But he will be back in his home state of Chicago very soon, and then we have to do the next podcast next week. But Kofi, if you're just not tuning in, like I was saying before, basically, I was talking about Tariq Cohen possibly coming back over the bye week. Khalil Mack possibly going to try to suit up again. And because the Chicago Bears has had so much success of course, with David Montgomery before the injury and Khalil Herbert. If Tariq Cohen is able to find a way to get in the rotation, then they basically going to phase out Damian Williams because he's already been phased out of the game plan over the past 4 weeks anyway. Oh yeah, I was just bringing it on down the line before I got the Justin Fields development because now after talking about the running backs, yeah, we can definitely talk about Justin Fields development. What's going on, CG? How you feeling? Oh yeah, definitely. Well, shout out to John Segul from Sports Talk Chicago. He did talk briefly about Matt Nagy being fired after the season as well, but definitely let's start this off with Justin Fields' development. Now, Justin Fields, especially over the past 4 weeks, his development has been going up. Of course, he did have that super terrible down game against Tampa Bay, but since then, has been climbing up. He has completed, I believe, it is number one in the NFL with the most deep passes over the past few weeks. And he connected on about 5 of them in the last game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over the past 4 weeks, I believe he's 6th overall in the NFL in certain status as well. And he's just seems to be getting more comfortable out there. Basically, starting to read defenses a lot easier, starting to recognize the personnel that he has out there on the field and what he definitely needs to do to be able to. I appreciate it, CG, for sharing the video, but Justin Fields basically needs to do the basically continue to develop. Now, of course, what's going to suck is because the scheme definitely does not fit him, does not fit this type of personnel that they have on a team, that after this season, Justin Fields basically going to have to hit the reset button and have to basically redevelop all over again with a new system. That's the bad thing too. And of course, some of these players will not be here on this offense following next season, possibly like Allen Robinson and a few other guys that will be on this offense unless they decide to franchise tag him yet again. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But like I said before, it is a lot of things that's going to transpire with this team. Another thing that the Bears definitely is going to have to do is try to find a way to get Kendall Vildor more developed throughout the rest of the season. Now, of course, he is light years better than he was in the beginning of the season, but it's still not good enough. Receiver just catching the ball all over him because he's just too damn small. So I'm like, if they can't find nobody that's going to be better at him, at least try to get him mentally ready to try to defend some of those passes because god damn, is he just be getting embarrassed over the past few weeks. And yes, Jalen Johnson is doing well. He's still holding his own the best way he can out there, but without having a dominating safety presence because Eddie Jackson still hurt, and I still haven't heard any word of him being able to come back anytime soon from the hamstring injury. Still left with DeAndre Houston Carson, and I don't know if Deshaun Gibson is going to be playing in this game. So if he is playing, then if he's able to come back and play against Baltimore, then that'll be a big difference. At least they have one starting safety back there, and DeAndre Houston Carson can hold his own. Of course, sometimes he can get lost in coverage, and he is susceptible of giving up that big play, but he can make tackles out there, and he does give you 100%. Fields has developed a better chemistry with Mooney than Robinson. It seems Robinson here is not in the game at times. Yeah, it do. And Kofi, you did point that out a few weeks ago as well, that Robinson just seemed like his head is not in the game. It's like it's almost damn near identical to what Anthony Miller. If he didn't get the first few catches in the beginning of the game, his head was not in the game after that. Now he's not making those effort plays that he was making his rookie season. He's not trying to block. It's much like it is now with Allen Robinson. At times, if he getting the ball enough, then he'll go down the field. He'll go ahead and make a key block. spring the runner much like he did in 2018, 2019, and 2020. That's what he was doing ever since he been here. But it's like this year, he's a little out of it, which I understand part of it could be because Trubisky is not here. So the man that was giving him the ball, that basically is the reason why he's gonna get paid all this money is not here anymore. And of course, like you said, Justin Fields developing that relationship with Darnell Mooney because we already spoke on it before. I've already spoken on it before because Darnell Mooney was willing to stay after practice and work on route combinations all day with Justin Fields and have him throwing the ball back and forth. They was able to learn how each other throw / catch the ball in certain situations, what they like the ball placement and all the above. And that's the reason why Mooney is the main one getting the ball. But it is what it is with Robinson. If Justin Fields can't give him the ball early, it's going to be just a down slope year for Allen Robinson, which is already is as it is. I believe that he's on par to probably getting 700 receiving yards. If it get any worse, he might end up with 600 receiving yards throughout the season. That's a whole 600-yard drop from last year. So yeah, it could be that bad for Allen Robinson if he's not able to get the ball on a consistent basis, which it seems like it's not happening anyway. But other than that, man, it's just been rough. It's been real rough 9 games for our team. Like I said before, they was 3-2 at one point, now 3-6, losing 4 consecutive games, starting off with Green Bay, 24-14. I predicted that Green Bay was going to win that game. They gave us some glimmer of hope, and one of the main reasons why I felt that way because the defense is not able to successfully constantly get to the quarterback, and even if they are, the cornerbacks can't make stops. I already said it before. They're not going to throw to Jalen Johnson. If they're noticing that he's hot right now, he's getting all the deflections and all the above, they're just going to keep throwing to Duke Shelley and Kendall Vildor, and that's what all teams been doing all the time for the past 4 weeks. They can stand away from Jalen Johnson for the most part. They throw to him when they have to, throw in that direction if the man is wide open. But other than that, just keep attacking Duke Shelley and Kendall Vildor. And Sean Desai, especially with this bye week, with this extra time, another week basically to prepare for Baltimore Ravens, this is the time to try to cook up some type of scheme, try to keep those guys in proper position so then they can either be able to get the deflection or the interception. Because if not, it's going to be the same thing that's been happening over the past 4 weeks, and that losing streak will continue to get big. Now, once again, the Bears is going to the second half of the season, and they already have 6 losses. So that means that 10-7 prediction that I said way earlier in my first prediction is totally wrong. I believe the second one I said they was going to be somewhere between 6-11 at worst, and can still possibly win 10 games if they're able to get their head out of their ass in time. But it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. At most, they might win 7 games. But if that's the case, then all we can do as Bear fans is really just focus on the full development of Justin Fields in hopes that he is able to develop fairly well and give us something at least bright, at least give us something like some type of bright spot to look forward in the following season. So yeah, man, it's going to be real rough. And the simple fact that Matt Nagy will be fired after the season, who is going to be the new coach? What type of philosophy do they bring to the table? I've heard people talk about Greg Roman and some other guys. Greg Roman is more of a run style type of offensive coordinator. He can utilize Justin Fields in that way, but at the same time, you don't really throw the ball too much. Maybe throw the ball on average maybe 24 times a game, unless he's forced to throw it there. Probably throw it a little bit more, as we see with Lamar Jackson, what he's doing pretty much throughout this season. He's throwing the ball a little bit more, keeps trying to stay in the pocket a lot more and prove that he can pass the ball, but that's a whole nother story with that. But yeah, it is a lot of different offensive coordinators or head coaches that the Bears can choose for to replace Matt Nagy. And of course, if Matt Nagy go, Ryan Pace has to go too. The reason why he definitely has to go is because once again, for the third consecutive season, he has failed to put together an adequate offensive line. Now, of course, Charles Leno and Bobby Massey was the main guys that was replaced. Those guys was terrible, but it still wasn't this bad. The quarterback still wasn't getting sacked this much. I believe I'd rather have Bobby Massey stay at right tackle than to see Jermaine Ifedi that was there before he got hurt and continuously just allow the quarterback to get sacked or anybody else. Now, of course, Larry Borum in the past few starts, he's been holding his own for the most part, unless the quarterback holds the ball way too long. So Larry Borum has done his job so far, and he looks adequate enough to keep that job. Now, of course, we don't know how the other offensive tackle is going to be because he is injured, but it is what it is. Whenever he come back, and we'll see how he'd be able to develop in the last 6 or 7 games as well. But now it is Jason Peters, the 38-year-old who, for the most part, has also been able to hold his own. Yeah, he did give up those ton of sacks early in the season, of course, because they didn't game plan correctly against the Cleveland Browns, and that led to Justin Fields just getting sacked constantly. And yeah, man, it was just real bad. But after that, once he was able to find his feet, if the guys is not able to outrun him, if he gets his hands on the guys, he's able to basically push guys out the way. He's able to still do his job. But the rest of the offensive linemen, especially the center, Sam Mustipher, still having a lot of penalties on them. He's still not strong enough to be able to properly hold up blocks on a consistent basis. Guys, every time I turn around, he's getting run over, blasted out the way when he should be doing it. It's just very embarrassing. Some people say move him to the guard position. If he can't protect you straight up the middle, he's definitely not going to be able to handle guys that's in the 3 technique, 4 technique, or anything like that. Those guys will be able to just bull rush him and run him over too. It's too many times that even if the guy's stronger than him, if he had proper technique, he'll still be able to at least have leverage on them to be able to hold the block long enough. Half the time he doesn't even do that. So yeah, that's definitely not something that I'm looking forward to seeing. But like I said before, it is supposed to be the possible return of a few players. Like I said before, but it is what it is. Ah, man, it's just gonna be a rough last 8 games for the Chicago Bears. Of course, taking on the Baltimore Ravens, and they have the Cardinals. Still have the Vikings twice. Still got to take on Green Bay one more time. Got to take on the Lions one more time. Got to take on the Giants. Man, they may split with the Vikings. So that's 1 win right there. I believe they're going to beat the Giants. So that's another win right there. So that's 5 victories so far for the Bears. I still believe that the Bears do beat Seattle. So that's 6 victories. Who else do they beat? Honestly. Because I don't know if I don't know if they're capable of beating the Vikings twice. If they are, then that's 7 victories at most. They're not beating Green Bay a second time. I definitely don't believe they're beating the Cardinals. If they do, that'll shock me. There's 8 victories. It's 8-9. But I don't think they're going to even be close in that game. A lot of these games, the Bears are going to get blown out. And it's going to start probably with the Baltimore Ravens. Why? Defense can't stop nobody. Their front 7 is very good when fully healthy. Even though last week, without all the guys, he still was able to manage 4 sacks against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it against Lamar Jackson because he's that good. He's able to shift out of the way Now, yeah, he did get sacked a few times against Miami, but those Miami defenders is definitely relentless. Yo, what's good? What's good, bro? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? Shit, I'm just talking about the Chicago Bears in that bad week, man. Shit, you got any ideas of what you think the Bears should do in this bad week? Because I'm just basically reviewing over everything. Like man, the Bears got a lot of things they have to do. A lot of things. Offensively, of course, they've been playing a hell of a lot better. Offensively, they trending up. Defensively, they probably hold them steady. Now they did play well majority of that game against the Steelers, and the penalties just killed them, especially the ones well it was just out of control with the goddamn offsides things. But it is what it is. TPS did a video 2021 draft picks, and they think that Slater should have been picked over Fields. What? I don't even know who the hell Slater is. Is he even playing? Honestly, if he ain't even playing there, then that should let you know TPS full of shit. Which half the time TPS don't even know what the hell they talking about any goddamn way. It's too many times that I ain't seen some videos that shit be goofy as hell. Even though they do excellent content for the most part, that's the reason why they got so many goddamn views. But yeah, sometimes they should be kind of ass. So it don't even matter. I wouldn't even worry about what the hell TPS is. Tell you the truth. So there we go. But yeah, man, the Chicago Bears, yes, just reflecting over everything. Like I've always said, shouldn't have got rid of Cal Fuller. Shouldn't have got rid of him. Shouldn't have re-signed Jermaine Ifedi. This is terrible moves by Ryan Pace. One of the many terrible moves that he's made. Now, of course, drafting Justin Fields was going to be something that would have helped keep his job if the team was to actually win this season. They probably could have brought him back and still got rid of Matt Nagy, but with the team being at 3-6 right now, and him not solidifying the offensive line to protect the rookie, man, it's going to be all bad. It's going to be bad for him. Him and Matt Nagy done. I think that we need to practice Fields passing to Allen Robinson because he during the first half does not get 100 yards of passing. Hey, that's mainly part of the game plan. That's how the game plan goes. If the game plan calls for you to throw short passes and probably have one route going down the field, and if that route not open, which that's usually the first read, deep route, first read, and everything else underneath is the second, third, fourth read or whatever, unless the quarterback is capable of running, we get sacked. That's how they run their route concepts. They have one player going deep, one player going medium, and another player going underneath. And usually the underneath route is the second read. The middle read is probably the third read, depending on however the quarterback look at it. But if the deep route not open, you always go to the underneath route, and that's usually what the hell he been doing. And it seemed like they've been trying to throw to Robinson a little bit deep, a little bit more, or he usually be in the middle of the field. And because either Justin Fields don't see him right away, which we've seen that happen where him be wide open, he just don't throw it down the field, or he just hit the underneath route, which is usually Mooney or Marquise Goodwin running that route. But yeah, he definitely should be trying to throw to Robinson more. But me and Kofi has spoke on it briefly, and of course everyone should know it already. Darnell Mooney was willing to stay after practice and work on route concept with Justin Fields, and he developed that chemistry with him, and that's the reason why he threw to him like that and not Allen Robinson. Shouldn't have signed Andy Dalton. I would have kept Trubisky and drafted Fields and rebuilt the O-line. Trubisky as my starter would have kept the offense going and Fields learning the system. I've said that already, man. I've said it before, even in a video I did about 9 months ago, was saying Mr. Trubisky and Allen Robinson is gone from the Chicago Bears because at that time I knew Trubisky definitely wasn't going to come back. But I thought Allen Robinson was gonna be gone as well. I said before, be careful what you wish for, Bear fans, because you keep saying that he trashed this and all that, but he got this winning record and all that. All the defense say he still put up points, regardless of what it was. He didn't turn the ball over super crazy. He didn't throw no pick sixes or nothing like that. And he still had plenty of comeback wins. Why would you want to get rid of that? The fans wanted what they wanted, and now with this team being 3-6, and of course, like you said, shouldn't have signed Andy Dalton, and I said shouldn't have re-signed Jermaine Ifedi as well. Then they would have been able to keep Kyle Fuller. It should probably wouldn't be like this. Like you said, man, this team most likely will be what, probably at 500 at least 4-4, or at least five. Well, wouldn't say 4-4. I would say maybe 4-5 or 5-4 at this time. Probably have a better record because Trubisky know how to come back and win. He's done it too many times. But it is what it is, man. Like you said, man, they should have kept Trubisky. I've said it, and hella people agree with me when I said the Bears should keep Trubisky last year. Said it 10 months ago. The Bears should keep him. Be careful what you wish for. Now, it was a blessing that the Bears was able to get Justin Fields. That was definitely a blessing because I thought he was going to go number 1 and number 2. But he fell right in the Bears' lap. So the Bears got blessed with at least being able to get another franchise quarterback. But even though if he does develop, he's still going to have to hit the reset button anyway because Matt Nagy is going to be gone. So he's going to have to now develop and learn a new system. Still, you have the Bear fans hating on him, calling him a bust, while calling Fields said, "Damn, calling him a bust." Well, calling Fields crazy despite the fact that Fields throwing most picks and touchdowns. I'm still arguing this. Hey, man, it is what it is, man. People call Trubisky a bust, and he took him to 2 straight playoff games. Well, two out of 3 years took him to the playoffs, and almost took him to the playoffs in 2019. Even with them starting out terrible. So it is what it is, bro. What's going on, sis? How you feeling? What up? What up? What up? Trubisky had a better QBR than Field. Well, what year are you comparing Trubisky? Because if you compare him in his last few years with Chicago, of course he is, because he played long. He's been playing in the league longer. If you compare it to his rookie year, Trubisky was better protected than Justin Fields is. They really got him just throwing the ball like crazy. Yo, what's going on, Mr. YTC? How you feeling? Well, you martial art practice. I don't even know what you mean, bro. What do you think about coaching candidates? Brian Badal, Greg Roman, Brian Leftwich. Oh, Brian Leftwich is a coaching candidate? Oh, shit. Good for him. Good for him. The most I've really heard is Greg Roman. That seems to be a popular opinion around Bear fans, especially Butters. He just loved Greg Roman. But Brian the ball, I really don't know too much about. Now, I have seen a lot more of Byron Leftwich, seeing how he coaches and how he operates his coaching on the field. If anybody, probably have to go with out of those 3, probably Byron Leftwich. He probably would be the one that would suit Justin Fields' play style the best. Now, Greg Roman to be able to use Justin Fields' legs the best and game plan around that a lot better than everybody else. But I think Byron Leftwich will be the best balanced type of guy that will be able to not only utilize Justin Fields' arm, but also his legs as well. Still, the haters cannot argue a reason for Justin Fields' struggle to pass the game. When Trubisky had a better comeback passing combo to A-Rod. Yeah, he did. Well, Trubisky didn't give a shit if Allen Robinson was double cover, triple cover. He still threw that man the ball and still somehow got him the ball every goddamn time. But what the thing is though, man, you got to remember, Justin Fields is a rookie. Justin Fields is a rookie. Yeah, he should still be able to have that connection with the number one receiver, but he's still a rookie, and he's found his guy that he's throwing to. We used to seeing Allen Robinson get at least 7 to 10 balls thrown this way. That's what Trubisky did. That's not what Justin Fields do. So I get your argument that Trubisky was a better passer than him in terms of being efficient, which I've already spoke on, that Justin Fields will make a lot of mistakes. He was going to throw a lot of picks his first year because he likes to fit the ball in tight spaces. When you tend to do that, that's what happens. You throw picks. And some of those picks he threw was simply because receivers fell down, couldn't hold on to the ball get tipped in the ball in the other defender's hands. So that is what happened. 2 words. Joe Brady. Okay. Hill Sports Talk, Mike Grundy, Kirk Smart, maybe Andy Reid. Andy Reid ain't going nowhere. Andy Reid lead the Chiefs, he retiring. That's only how that's gonna happen. I don't see Andy Reid leaving the Chiefs no time soon. No time soon, unless they just go all the way trash. And then he all of a sudden magically resigns / get fired, and then that's it for him. That's only how that's gonna happen. But back to what you said though, the rap at 10,000. Talking about the haters. Still, the haters cannot argue the reason for Fields' struggles. Oh, well, I guess you talking to the wrong damn people there. And they don't know what the hell they talking about because Justin Fields is a rookie. He already showed on tape what he brought to the table. He brought a very good arm, throws very good down the field. He got very good arm strength. That means he can fit the ball in the tight spaces in between defenders. He also showed the negatives because you got to remember that's college ball. So when you transition over to the NFL, the negatives already is going to be is that he's going to throw interceptions. Sometimes he's going to throw it too tight of a window, and this is not college. Those defenders is just that much faster. They pick the ball off, and that's what's been happening. Or even though they don't get to the ball right away, they just that much faster, hit the receiver just that much harder. Ball flies in the air, still leads to an interception. Those are the type of things that happen. And of course, him running and out, being able to outrun everybody in college. We already know that he's going to be able to do that a few times in the NFL. But guys, it's a lot faster than a 4.4, 4.3 on the field. Guys on the regular run 4.3s and 4.2s in the NFL. They're going to be able to catch them. Even the linebackers run close to that now because they're a lot smaller. What has been happening? He's been getting caught. So we already seen the positive and the negatives in college. You just have to be able to see it already and be able to properly evaluate it and know exactly what's going to happen his rookie year. And everything I spoke on that he did in college, and I spoke on what's going to happen in the NFL, is still coming to full fruition. That's exactly what's happening to him. Thoughts on the offensive line draft, because we have drafted offensive linemen last year and this year, but we didn't see them in the offense. Some are injured. Tevin Jenkins should be back soon. Well, so far, Larry, I already had spoken earlier. Larry Borum, and the limited time that he's been able to play, of course, the injury did happen to him, and then he was able to come back. And then now he's playing again. He's been able to hold his own properly. He's played light years better than Jermaine Ifedi. I can't remember who the hell is number 70 years now, because only person that popped on my head is Bobby Massey. He's no longer on the team, but he's plays so far. Justin Fields has had a little bit more time because last week that was the most time he probably had to throw the football probably since the Cincinnati game when he was able to come in and he still wasn't able to throw the ball that accurately in that game, but he did have a lot more time in that one than any other game, even a Detroit Lions game. So Larry Borman's holding up well. Once again, we got to see how Tevin Jenkins plays when he comes back. They're going to probably still, even after he's 100% healthy, they might still wait a few weeks before they bring him in. They probably have him come in the last 3-4 weeks and then see how that turns out. Or try to get the offensive coordinator on the Titans. Todd Downs. You saw how he rejuvenated the Titans offense, how they play without him. Yeah, he could be a very good replacement as well. That's if some other team don't wind up picking him up. And on top of that, if he's willing to go to Chicago Bears as well. Because the Bears can try to pursue him, try to get him an interview. But if he's really not interested in trying to go to Chicago because he believes that it's just a straight up clusterfuck here, then he don't have to come here. But this offense is similar enough to replicate what the Titans did. Yeah, they do not have Derrick Henry, but they do have David Montgomery, and they do have Khalil Herbert, and also Tariq Cohen coming back, and as of right now as well, Damian Williams. So they do have 4 running backs that they can work in that rotation, and they do have good enough wide receivers to be able to run the type of offense that Ty Downs do run as well. So we're getting a lot of candidates what the Bears can be using. But we just got to see who they pick. Who they pick and who is willing to come to Chicago and coach his team after Matt Nagy is gone. Mr. YTC, I think that offensive coordinator for Wake Forest and what they are doing for the quarterback, Sam, is great. I would not expect the Wake Forest to be this great. He might be great in the pros. We'll see how that turn out because we've seen a lot of offensive coordinators in college that look real good come up to the NFL and try to pull that shit, and that shit do not work. Sometimes it does, works for a few years, but then it fizzles out because they're not able to make adjustments to it and add to the playbook. But I could be wrong. It is a new day and age. More NFL teams now is using college type of offenses and mixing it in with NFL type offenses as well. So definitely have to see how that turns out with that. But man, once again, Bears bad week. I'm happy the Bears ain't playing this week. At least I ain't gotta have no goddamn attitude for the week like goddamn. Yet again, they wind up losing another game, either getting blown out or not being able to do exactly what they need to do to win in the fourth quarter, especially the defense. Offense able to drive down the field the past 2 weeks and do exactly what they need to do, go down the field and score. But the defense still is not able to make the necessary stops possible. Now, of course, against San Francisco 2 weeks ago, couldn't stop the run. Last week against Steelers, couldn't fucking stay on fucking sides. And of course, those weak ass penalties, especially the one against Marsh, who sacked Ben Roethlisberger, do his little kick flip shit, walk over to the bench, walk only just from hash mark to hash mark to the Steelers bench, look at him, walk away, and then of course the referee hip checks him, but then throw a goddamn flag. But it is what it is, man. We all saw what happened. The referee gave out that weak ass excuse, the reason why he did it, and we all know it's a bunch of bullshit. Self-absorbed ref, fuck the Bears, real bad. What defensive players on the college level that you see be a great pick for the Bears? I see several D tackles from Georgia and Oklahoma State. Honestly, I have not been watching college football. I haven't watched a full college football game in a very long time, honestly. Usually I don't find out about the players until it get a little bit closer to the draft, and then I start going back, not really looking at highlights, but then I start looking at certain film of them. Then I start researching the guys, then looking at stats, and then after that, probably watch a few games at their best, watch a few games when they at their worst, and then get a full evaluation from that. Then till then, I really don't watch college football like that, even though it's on local TV like crazy. I just can't sit there and watch it. Boring. Just real boring. At any given time I can see uh, a very good team go against a terrible team, and then that very good team beat them like 59-10. That's boring to see. That's exciting to see if I'm a fan of the football team. Not good to see if you just like watching football. If that's the case, I might as well should just go everywhere, all over the United States, and watch high school football if I want to watch some shit like that. So yeah. Oh, okay. I was sure about to say something real quick. Let's see what you got to say. The hip call penalty makes no sense. And we have seen similar problems with these stupid calls on a college level when a player is not taunting the opposing side. I didn't know it was a problem in college. Usually, I see a lot of bullshit. Now, I have always seen a lot of bullshit flags for targeting a lot last year. That was one of the main things I did see. Now, like I said, I didn't watch full games. I would just be skimming through and be watching a little bit here and there. Then I will always see someone getting targeted, getting penalized for a targeting penalty when all they trying to do is make a goddamn tackle. But in college anyway, you could almost never really taunt like that after what the hell Miami Hurricanes was doing. I think I spoke on that briefly before because of how much the Miami Hurricanes used to troll everybody or taunt every goddamn body. They outlawed damn near everything. You ain't allowed to basically do a goddamn thing anymore in college. So thank everybody that played for the Miami Hurricanes from like 1985 to like 1993. Y'all need to relocate to Ottawa. And you need to relocate to these nuts, CEO. Go kiss my ass. Matter of fact, CEO, why don't you put your link in the description so that people can sub to your channel with your punk ass. Targeted unsportsmanlike conduct. They're making a clean defensive play on the quarterback. Yeah, shit. It's worse in the NFL. Shit, you sack the quarterback, and then if your stomach touches his stomach, they call it. They say you hit him too damn hard. You fell on top of him, roughing the passer. That's the most crazy shit I've ever seen in my life. You sacked the quarterback, he got the ball because you drove him to the ground. That's roughing the passer. That don't make no sense. How else you gonna bring down on average 6'4", 240-pound man? How else you gonna bring him down? He a grown man just like you. He's strong as hell just like you. You're gonna have to drive him to the ground. Yeah, he a quarterback, but that's still a big dude. Most of the time, bigger than one of the bigger guys on the field. But you can't drive them to the ground. So it's fucking nuts. And in college, they don't give a shit. You can be doing this. After a celebration, they throw a flag on your ass. So it is what it is. Okay. But like I said before, man, it is what it is, man. The Bears has got a lot of problems that they're gonna have to fix during this bye week. Hopefully, they can improve on certain things. If not, this losing streak they got is just gonna continue. It's going to continue. 2006 Bears defense was better, and these stupid flags are ruining great defenses. Yeah, well, 2006 Bears was one of the best teams over the past, or one of the best defensive teams of that decade. along with the 2000 Ravens, 2002 Buccaneers defense, 2000, then you had the 2006 Bears defense, and I believe the Giants defense was ranked real high and real good during that time period. Then you have other defenses that was number one during the year 2000 to 2010 that was real good. So it's kind of hard to try to say. It's not hard to say that this 2006 Bears defense better than this one because shit, they had cornerbacks. They had Nathan Vasher and Charles Tillman. That was young, real young. Shit. All we got is Jalen Johnson. That's it. And on top of that, 2006 Bears had Mike Brown and Chris Harris and Daniel Manning. All those guys stayed healthy, except Mike Brown, of course, who got injured that year. But shit, Eddie Jackson hurt. Tayshaun Gibson is hurt. I don't know if he coming back, but even when he do, he too busy trying to make a big hit and can't wrap up tackle no goddamn body. He can't cover no goddamn body. DeAndre Houston Carson is serviceable, but he's still no Eddie Jackson. And guess what? We got Duke Shelley and Kendall Vildor. Back then, we had Ricky Manning Jr. and a few other guys. So, yeah, it is what it is. You can't even begin to compare that 2006 defense to this one, other than the simple fact that the front four is probably better. When 100% healthy, this Bears team front four, not front seven, front four from outside linebackers, which I like to call them defensive ends, really. Them and the D tackle and the two defensive ends they have here. Those guys overall is better than, Tommy Harris, either Israel Adonijah, Alfonso Boone, or Ian Scott, depending on which combination you want to match him up with, or Tank Johnson, that was the defensive tackles. And then you got Alex Brown, Adewale Agunlaye, Mark Anderson. Those guys are not better than Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, Akeem Hicks, those three Pro Bowlers just right there. Then you got the rotational guys with Eddie Goldman, Bilal Nichols. You got guys like that. So, yeah, a lot better overall. But the linebackers, like Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Hunter Hillenmeyer, those guys overall is better than, Roquan Smith. Even though Roquan Smith is excellent, beast, Roquan Smith is not better than Brian Urlacher or Briggs. Either one. And Danny Trevathan past his prime. Oleg Ogletree is not better than none of those guys. I don't even think Ogletree is better than Hillenmeyer. I will make the arguments that the 2007 draft class was one of the weakest classes to rebuild the problems after that loss. I don't know, because that 2007 draft had Adrian Peterson in there, Greg Olsen. They had a lot of good guys in that draft. It was a lot of underwhelming guys, but it was a lot of guys that's for surely going to the Pro Bowl. I mean, not the Pro Bowl, but the Hall of Fame after their career over. Like Greg Olsen should be going. We know Adrian Peterson going. There's a few other guys in that draft that's probably going to end up going too. So I don't know. I've seen weaker drafts, and I know you have too. I know you've seen a lot weaker drafts in the 2007. Shit, I believe. No, 2005, 2004. Probably have to go back. Probably have to go back a year. You're probably right. I don't know. I just know that 2007 draft had a lot of good guys in that draft. But we've been on for 49 minutes. Like I said before, man, Kofi Oheming will be back next week. He is in Florida right now visiting family and right now living his best life on vacation. So just make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you are a returning subscriber, make sure to like and share the video. And also Kofi Oheming link is down in the description. So make sure to sub to his channel and then let him know that I did send you so then he'll know what is going on and just keep his channel growing. He's trying to hit at least 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Make sure that do happen with my man. I meant for the selection that the Bears made the year. Oh, definitely. Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, you on point then. Yeah. Yeah, that was horrible draft. Yeah. I can't even remember all they draft. I can't even remember who the hell they drafted. They got damn yeah, that draft was so damn weak. Oh yes, sir, my guy. Bear down, my guy. Bear down. But once again, man, this is Jonathan Pitney. And of course, my guy, KL Sports Talk, bringing it back to you with another main event podcast. All right, people. Peace out and go Chicago Bears.
I really came back on my shit, my man. Remote my partner left my shit. Fresh in the ball of the bread. Okay. So bring that mean is lit.